It's C-Doc again.
What's up, y'all? It's Tuesday, motherfucking night. It's C-Doc again. I'm rocking the Buffalo stance.
What's up? What's up?
What's up? You been waxing on some Nana Cherry?
Absolutely, man. Got to get in that Buffalo stance.
That was my prom song.
You've been to a lot of proms, my friend.
You are right. I have been to a lot of proms,
and I wasn't invited to a single one of them. Man,
yeah.
Next one, and you and me, man, we'll go.
Yeah, well, trust me, I didn't go to a lot of proms. I think I went to one.
Once.
Jenny's in the green room saying 3. We're not talking about Orange Juice Jones and all of those guys.
Not yet.
Not yet. That's right. We're not talking about it yet. So what you been up to, bro?
Dude, man, I've been good. Just chilling. I missed the last show. I was really bummed. I love Positive K, but my day job needed me at night. So what are you gonna do, right?
Yeah, I had a text exchange yesterday with Daddy O, and he said he was, doing some stuff, and I sent him a text, and I said, I hate working for a living.
Right? I just want to do hip-hop all day. I just want to bang on the drum all day.
Yes, that's right. So how's it going with the new album? How you feeling about it?
Man, I'm feeling good. It was definitely a project that is near and dear to my heart. I wanted to explore that side of hip-hop, and I think it's going to be a slow burn, Hopefully people will dig it. But anyone watching, if you haven't checked it out yet, we're talking about From the Land of Lions. If you like dance hall, ragamuffin, hip-hop, go check it out. You can hit it up on the Spitslam site. And if it's not your thing, that's okay. I got more stuff coming.
That's right. You always got stuff coming, dude. You're like prolific.
I try, man. I try.
You said ragamuffin, it reminded me of Positive K because he says ragamuffin in that track.
Yeah, absolutely.
Dude, he was funny. If y'all didn't have a chance to check out Positive K last week and special guest at the end in the C-Doc After Dark segment, Jason Catalano, M-Rock, you missed it. I'm gonna bring Jenny on now. This is a perfect opportunity to recap last week. What's up, nice. Jenny OJ?
What up?
So,
what's happening, folks?
M-Rock, I don't think did you hear about last week at all?
No, I did not.
So, one of our regulars, one of the regs, I like to call him, Jason Catalano, was in the chat, and he's really good with, chatting it up with everybody and whatnot. So long story short, Dude was an actor on Law and Order SVU.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we said.
Who knew?
If you go back and watch the replay, I was like, you're not on fucking Law and Order, whatever. He was.
I looked him up on I looked him up on Google, and I said, "Well, this says IMDb blah 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 blah." But this one, that's not him.
Yeah. So what did
That's
we do?
crazy.
In true It's C-Doc After Dark fashion, Jenny emailed him a link. And we brought the mofo on the show.
After
Cold
I kept putting him in a timeout.
Yeah. Jenny emailed him the link, and then she blocked him for 5 minutes in streaming. Of course, sitting there, he's like, I don't know what's going on. It's like, it's technical difficulties again.
That's right. You shall not pass.
Jennifer's
anyway.
got buttons, and she's not afraid to use them.
That's right. She will press the button on your ass. So he has an affinity. You know how you liked DJ Too Tough?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, kind of to a stalker level.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah. So Jason is the same way with Ice-T,
Oh, all right.
also known as Tracy. That's what I call him. So anyway, it tells us some tales, and not freaky tales that he told so well. It just, you have to go back and watch it, dude. It's worth watching.
I'm gonna definitely check it out.
It rivals episode 1, where we went a marathon with you as the debut guest. It was like almost a 4-hour affair. We were all wiped, but it was a fantastic show, dude. You just gotta watch it. I don't want to ruin it for you. So if you're out there, if Influence get them. If you haven't watched it and you're out there, check it out. Episode 25. So before we bring on the DOC, let's talk about some hip hop history. On this day, back in 1993, Wu-Tang Clan released their debut single, Protect Your Neck.
Classic.
It is a classic.
The jam, man. The jam.
Now, what I've always wondered about Wu-Tang Clan, and I tried to piece it together with the American Saga show. I don't know if you've watched that or not.
A little bit.
Hulu.
Yeah, a little bit here and there.
Is how many people are in
Exactly. So it was like 6 or 7-ish, I think, and then it's like 106 now. Like if you go to New York and you don't meet somebody from Wu-Tang Clan, you didn't go to New York.
Right. Right.
There are definitely a lot of affiliates from what I hear. And Spitslam's own Chrome, producer extraordinaire, is a Wu-Tang affiliate as well.
Is he really?
Yes, he is.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Good. Shout out Chrome.
Shout out to Chrome. Big ups.
Yeah. Chrome's got a big project going right now, doesn't he?
I thought you were about to say Chrome's got a big posse. I really thought you were going there. But yes, he's got a big project.
Yeah. We'll let Doc fill us in. You know, we're slowly, and we can say this right now to the millions watching at home. Jenny and I had a strategy meeting this week, and actually she was able to corner me to actually spend time working on the show. And so we've got a whole.
He's spry.
That's right. I'm spry for my big frame. Speaking of big frame, I'm taking the family to Treehouse this weekend in a place called Red River Gorge in Kentucky, and we're doing
actual treehouse.
Yeah, it's a treehouse. And so I booked this kayak trip in the cave, and it has like neon lights for the kayak. It's in this cave, and I was looking and it said weight limit for the kayak, and I was like, I told my 12-year-old, I'm like, you're 13 because you gotta go by yourself. I'm too heavy.
Now,
Sounds cool.
Is this treehouse built? Have you seen the There's
The
a
pictures
show
of the tree.
on
Swiss Family Robinson.
No, there's a show on, and I want to say it's like HGTV or something like that. Anyway, the guy, that's what he does. He builds tree houses.
Tree houses. Yeah, that's somebody that doesn't have a real job. Tree
No,
houses.
they've got a huge business, and he must get massive money.
Well, speaking of someone who has a real job,
massive
what about
money.
it, Enoch?
It wouldn't be me. What's up, everybody?
What's up, dude?
Hey, real quick before we forget, Chrome will have the first single from his new album dropping on the 20th. So I wanted to mention that before I forgot. So there you go.
Good. Well, you teed that up really well. M-Rock, I think that audio is a little heavy for me, just a tad.
Let me shut it down a little bit.
We don't have to shut it down. Just turn that shit down. So this is the point in the show, Doc, called the Slam. It's kind of a working title. This is where you give us all of the news and goings on of the Slam. So what's going on? What we got?
So last Friday, the cap. This is the old version because I haven't gotten the new one yet, but we re-released DJ Lord's "Eat the Rat" album in the store now, streaming everywhere, and it's got bonus tracks. It's a new remaster. Nice job by Sean Franklin, who was supposed to be on our show once and blew us off. So, but he did a great job remastering Lord's album. So check that out, or go to spitslamrecords.com, which was just recently redesigned by Jennifer O'Jenny. Did a fantastic job on it. We have a real website now. It looks great. We're actually getting orders again, which is nice. So yeah, so great job, Jen.
What's that URL again?
Spitslamrecords.com.
You redid that one too, Jenny?
I sure did.
She sure
Damn,
did.
dude. She's like a little web troll over there, like doing all these little
Rock and
her
roll
out.
and
You only did
hip-hop
the, yeah.
I'm just a busy bee.
Yep, got to get you paid. So yeah, go check out DJ Lord again and refresh yourselves.
Eat some rat.
Yeah, Eat the Rat. It's got some bonus tracks, some drum and bass remixes. Pretty dope.
When are you getting Lord on the show?
Pretty soon. I know he just did Coachella. He did 2 weekends at Coachella,
Of course he did.
and right now he's DJing for Cypress Hill, so he's pretty busy.
So next week is a big fat no.
Yeah, probably not. I'll ask though. But
Well, if he's touring with Cypress, he's pretty high. We know that.
oh, always.
Or, as we like to say on the show, he's pretty knacked. In the worst way.
He's always walking the dog. So, Wisdom Beats
No,
in the house.
He will be on it. Will he be DJing for Cypress next week at the Versus?
He will indeed.
Oh man,
Yep.
Dude,
it's over.
you need to get him to drop the name of our show on the Verses. That's what's up.
I will ask him. He'll probably say no. So
He'll say,
Send him a
what?
shirt.
He will
Send him a
say what?
shirt.
Oh.
yeah, we got to send him a shirt.
I'm gonna shameless plug this shit on Verses, baby.
Yep. Right. Need to get him a shirt ASAP.
Come on, Jenny, get on that. Come on.
But yeah, like I said, and then Chrome's new single on the 20th, featuring Oh my God, it's a crazy lineup on Chrome Sync. Chuck D, Brother Ali, Sadat X, Lord Jamar, Black Medine. It's a 3-banger. It's dope. And speaking of Black Medine, we just got their new album mastered. So, Speech. Yes, thank you, Chrome in the house. Speech and Doug Wimbish from Living Color on the bass. So good stuff. Yeah. Oh, and Bobby J from Rockaway on the Black Medine track.
No, Bobby J's on there too.
Yeah, he does the hook on the Black Medine joint.
And this is a single?
Yeah.
God damn, dude. What is it, like USA for Africa? Was it like 15 minutes long?
Chrome got the connects, man. He's out connecting us all. Yeah.
That's what's up. Shout out to Chrome.
Yeah. Flatline, I got you, man. I got you with the promo. So yeah. So that's where we're at with the label. And you know, good things coming. M-Rock's working on stuff. I had a couple of calls today about a project I can't mention yet.
It's that super top secret Ice Cube collab with So Chuckified.
Close with the not Ice Cube, but you know,
close.
There's Ice
Cube
involved, but
adjacent.
Yes,
Cube adjacent. DJ Speed and DJ Yella.
Yep. There it is.
Do y'all hear a hiss? I hear a little bit of a hiss.
Maybe.
There it is. That's good right there. That must have been some ambient music. Looks like our guest has arrived in the green room.
Oh, dope.
He's got a camera. Did you tell him it was on camera?
Yeah.
Okay.
He was we tried it earlier.
Ice JJ Fish.
Ice JJ Fish. Yes. The Spitslam album, Ice JJ Fish.
We're going to bring back CB4.
Ice cold.
So it's Ice Cube adjacent. Let's see here.
No, it's not Ice Cube adjacent. There's
really?
It was who?
Dr. Ice from UTFO.
Oh, Dr. Ice.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Jenny, I'm working on a pretty big site myself. Hit me up.
Hey, and Mike Brass. Mike Brass is working on stuff too. I haven't had an update, Mike Brass. Hint. Let me know how it's going.
Who's Mike Brass?
Mike Brass from Kansas City, Heat Mob. In the house.
All right.
So yeah.
It's like
You want to see if Dre's like there?
What's going on?
Dr. Dre, can you hear us, sir?
I hear you. Can you hear me?
Ah, yes, we can.
Yes, sir.
Excellent.
I
didn't give you a proper intro.
It kept saying, mic and video off. Mic and video on. Mic settings. Like what?
Well, your audio works, so at least
what
there's that. We can hear you.
Well, that's good. We can start there.
No, we'll get the camera worked out before the end of the show. It's all good.
Oh, please. My hair isn't done.
Oh.
Well, you got hair like I do.
I haven't been to the salon. I don't want to.
M-Rock, can you bring the music down a bit?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir.
Tell me when it's good. Like right here?
Yeah, that's cool for now.
Yeah,
Very
that's
cool.
perfect.
So, ladies and gentlemen, in the house tonight, the one, the only, Dr. Dre.
Hello.
Absolutely. Hey.
Yeah. So, Dre, I'm on the show with my co-host, So Chuckified, Jennifer O'Jenny, and DJ M-Rock, just so you know.
Did you say Jennifer O'Jenny?
Jennifer O'Jenny.
Absolutely.
Hello, Jennifer O'Jenny.
Hello, sir.
Did you say sockified?
So chuckified.
Oh, so chuckified. Okay.
It's
I don't
like
want to get so chucker. I don't want to get so chucker upset.
just think of a male version of the brat, but it's
Oh,
so
really?
chuck.
You said the male version of the brat?
Yeah,
Okay, you said that. With all what's going on in the United States, you're going to make that joke today. I got you.
oh no, it's a homage to her song "So Funkified."
Oh,
Where I
I got
got the name "So Chuckified."
you. So chuckified. Gotcha. Gotcha. So chucker.
Yeah,
But
So
Jenny
Chucka.
So chucka.
so
Jenny
Chucka.
O. Jennified. Gotcha.
So, Dr. Dre,
Yes, sir.
let's go
What's
back
up, brother
and
C-Dot?
let's go back and talk about how you first got into. I'm curious because I don't know the story. How you first got into radio.
Radio. Suckers never played me on the mix. They just okayed me. How I got in the radio? You gotta wait till I finish writing that part of the book, which is called "Yo Knowledge Me." Which
Excellent.
tells you I got in the radio. No, seriously. All jokes aside, I got in the radio. I was following the big button to smile. Jenny, this is a part is for you. To a school called Adelphi University, which is in Garden City, Long Island, in New York. And I was in a black music class with the late, great Professor Andre Strobert. And I was joined by one Harold McGregor, a.k.a. Harry Allen, you gotta ask him, or Harry O of Vicious Visuals. One, a.k.a. Mr. William Bill Stephanie, a.k.a. Mr. Bill.
Mr.
And of
Bill.
course, one and only Carlton Ridenauer, a.k.a. Chucky D, a.k.a. Chuck D, and yours truly, Dr. Dre. And,
That's a hell of a lineup right there.
Excuse me?
That's a hell of a lineup right there.
Yeah, it was a heck of a class, too. So I was in the back wearing my sweater with a tie, and Bill had on his jacket on one side. Harry was in the back staring out the window, and Chuck had on a Spectrum City jacket. And we were talking about all types of music, starting back from different nations in Africa, all the way to modern day. And I kept bringing up Parliament Funkadelic, Earth, Wind and Fire, the Commodores, Jackson 5, and they kept turning around looking at me like I was crazy. And they kept bringing up James Brown and Curtis Mayfield and company. And that's how it all started. One day, Chuck and Bill took me out to lunch at the UC, and they said, "Hey, do you know about WBAU?" I said, "Yeah, I heard about that, but I never knew WBAU was at Adelphi University." So they walked me upstairs to the station, and the rest is WBAU 90.3 FM history.
And when was that? What year was that?
1983, the number,
Wow.
not the summer. That's when I followed the big
Man,
smile to Adelphi
I'm digging
University.
all these PE references tonight. I'm loving it.
Say what?
I said I'm loving all these PE references tonight.
Oh, I got other references, but we'll say because we're at Adelphi, I'm gonna go there first. But yeah, that's how it kind of started. I had a group myself that was deep in the group myself. What an idiot! I had a group called The Concept at the time with Dr. Dre, T Money, Easy G, Rockwell, and we used to DJ parties all over Long Island, same way Spectrum City did.
Got you. So you got okay. So it started like that. When did you add the original to it?
The original came after we were signed to Def Jam. We had already recorded "Can You Feel It" and "Knowledge Me," and I've been telling Rick, "You got to put this record out. You got to put this record out." That'd be Rick Rubin. And this other group came out under the group name The Concept, and it was the late great MCA of the Beastie Boys. And we were sitting in Rick's apartment at the time, and we were all pissed off and said, "I told you, man, I told you. Now we got to change the name of the group." And it was MCA who said, "Don't worry about it. You guys, your original Concept." And I went, "What?" "Yeah, original Concept." I hated that name. I hated it because we had just printed shirts that said the concept with a logo. We had, jerseys, everything. And I had to go back and get them to put original on the top of the bar. It was crazy. But it grew.
God.
It grew. But I was like, I can't. First of all, the first thing I said is, how are you going to rhyme original content? You got Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five. You had Spectrum City because they weren't Public Enemy yet.
Right.
You had, let's see, Boogie Down Productions. You had Africa Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation, Africa Bambaataa and the Soul Sonic Force, Run DMC, LL Cool J, and Original Concept. I said, we damn sure better come up with something that works because we're going to make this name stick. So, and at the time, I was just starting to DJ for the Beastie Boys, but that's in the book that I'm writing now because I got 2 books coming out. It's crazy.
Wow.
Damn, awesome.
Yeah.
What are the 2 books?
The first book I wrote is called Yo Bigger Stuff, the Dr. Dre episodes from 1989 to 1995, which tells my story about going to MTV and working at MTV and meeting my partner Ed Lover and all our little misadventures. And T Money was a part also. I brought him along into the groove, and that's what that book's about. Yo Knowledge Me came because I did an interview with Vlad TV, and everybody kept asking me about, you did all of that before MTV? I said, yeah, I did all of that before MTV. Most people didn't realize I was the Beastie Boys DJ before Hurricane. I was on the Raising Hell tour, Original Concept, and myself. I keep saying I'm stupid. Original Concept, we wrote the song Proud to Be Black for the Raising Hell album.
Right.
Oh,
Beside that, and other songs and musical things that I had done along the way from a production position. That's how it got started.
Wow.
so I saw the interview, Dre. This is Chuck. I saw the interview with Vlad TV. I don't know how many of the folks out here watching tonight saw it, but I thought it was interesting that they went with part of the title is Dr. Dre tells us why Rick Rubin was a thief. Or do you care to elaborate on that?
Okay, I'll give you a brief that story. That's more in the book. I'm gonna tell you one story out of that.
All right.
Now we all know what sampling is, and we all know that the Bomb Squad is probably the greatest effort of the production crew that started samples in your songs that way. But we had the Original Concept started it too, with Can You Feel It, using the Jackson Fives. It's Great to Be Here, and using also Can You Feel It and James Brown. Sampling was a part of what we did. And even Knowledge Me, that song was no sample because my partner E-Ski, Eric McIntosh, and I wrote the beat and the bass line, but he was a better keyboard player than me. So he came along and he actually played it and gave it that swag and that funk to it. T Money and I did Knowledge Me because it was a promo that we did for WBAU, where we talk about all the people on air at the time, whether it be Spectrum City with the Super Spectrum Mix Hour in one half, Mr. Bill for the Mr. Bill Show, the late great Rusty J, Night Nurse, I got me saying Rich. The Concept I DJ'd with the Spectrum City in their weekend, and the one and only MC DJ Flavor Show, which we ended up doing after a while. But that whole thing I call my greatest incubator of creativity in life. We had Hank Shockley, Wizard KG, aka Keith Shockley, Butch Cassidy, Chuck D, we called him. It was Chucky D at the time. And that's where even what was the name of the song that he did? Was a BAU promo.
Check Out the Radio?
No, not Check Out the Radio was a Spectrum City song, as well as Lies. But
And
when he
right,
did,
Lies.
can't think of the first Public Enemy song released. I'm going blank.
Public Enemy #1.
Public Enemy #1 was a BAU promo.
Yeah. Yep.
So doing all those BAU promos, same with Can You Feel It at the time, because we were going to go with the name Most Illin B-Boys for Def Jam, but we thought that would date itself real fast because Illin B-Boy, Illin, it would just date us. So
Right.
when we said the concept, we thought that was cool. So to answer the question about Rick Rubin and being a thief, I'll just do it this way, and there's more in the book. We all know about Rock the Bells with LL Cool J. That was on the radio album. And that version, which became a big hit. But before that, there was the original version where Rick Rubin actually took Marley Scratch from MC Shan and Marley Marl. And LL Cool J rhymed on it. That's why when you got the 12-inch, you had Rock the Bells, the album, and the original version.
Right.
At that time, that was a big no-no in hip-hop. You don't lift another rap artist's song, and then you just decide to rhyme on it in that fashion. There was nothing cool about that. And I told Rick, that's not cool, dude. Oh, it doesn't matter. That song doesn't mean nothing. Nobody ever heard it. Yeah, we all heard it because I know it. I know Marley Scratch. I know MC Shan knows Marley Scratch. And they're both from Queens. Not a good idea. But maybe I should have kept my mouth shut. And I'll just ask your DJ, if you really want to figure it out, play Rock the Bells from the album and play Can You Feel It? And which came first? Can You Feel It or Rock the Bells album version? And that's why I say Rick Rubin was a thief.
And that's all you need to say.
And
Is
that's
that what?
after that, and after we released that, I quickly grabbed my masters and went out east to my good friend Kenny Wallace at in London, and we decided to continue to record there. But I did go back to Chung King and mix one of the biggest sample songs ever, Pump That Bass Live, with Steve had out at Chung King for 36 and a half hours in between touring and flying back and editing. And then we said, okay, let's just do this all in one shot. And Ed and I sat there 36 straight hours and edited Pump That Bass Live.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow. That's crazy.
Because the equipment that exists today didn't exist then.
Yeah, sure. That's why it's
samplers,
crazy. Yeah.
But a lot of that record was recorded live. The drum parts were live. The guitar parts were live. Easy G scratching was live. And even all the stuff that I said on the song, we did it live. And the whole purpose was to bring back the feeling of a party. And like we were DJing in a park. So that's why it's called Pump That Bass Live. Get a little stupid ho.
Gotcha.
I was wondering about that because it never sounded like it was actually live. So that makes sense.
Well, the live were the live parts that were played. I did have a version where it was like a lot of chanting and screaming and hollering, and everybody said nobody ever played it on the radio. Let me clear my throat. I should have listened to my first. No, but it came out well. I mean,
yeah, it's dope.
The amount of people who sampled that record, and I hear my voice all over the place, from Eric B. and Rakim to Technotronic when they did Pump Up the Jam. I mean, Get a Little Stupid all over the PE album. It Takes a Nation of Millions. So obviously, the way it came out, it just worked.
Right.
Then make the connection from all of that to all of a sudden Fab Five Freddy and Ed Lover and
make the connection?
Yeah. How did that all happen? How did all that come to play?
Oh, well, at the time, after I left the tour, and I was DJing loft parties for Jessica Rosenblum and a guy named Beaver, and I was doing this place called The Bank. A gentleman I met while I was DJing with the Beasties, Peter Darty, who ended up being the executive producer of Yo MTV Raps, who bought the show from England, which was originally just called Yo, with a woman named Sophia. They decided to do this show after doing a pilot with Run DMC and the late, great Jam Master Jay at the Nassau Coliseum for the Def Jam tour, which is really interesting. I was actually introducing Chuck and Public Enemy on stage, and that's in the pilot episode.
Wow.
It's in the middle of July. It's about 200 degrees, and I'm wearing a Def Jam jacket. What kind of idiot was I? So Peter comes up to me at this party, and he goes, "Hey, Dre, what's going on?" I say, "Hey, Pete, what's happening?" And he says, "Man, if you seen this show, Yo MTV Raps." I said, "Yeah, it's cool." He said, "Would you mind coming to my office? I want to talk to you about it." So he hands me his card, and it has a shamrock on it and the MTV logo. I showed it to my partner, the late great Ozzie Gibson, and he goes, "Yeah, why not? Give it a shot, see what happens." I go meet with Pete. Pete tells me, the show's really cool. What do you think it needs? And I said, it needs more personal than just Fab interviewing artist to artist. We've seen that already. Let's, bring some culture into it too. He said, "Can you do that?" I said, "Sure I can. I produce TV all the time." Well, that wasn't quite true. So I went to T Money. Who was going to New York Institute of Technology for radio, television, and I forgot what else, communications. And we went to produce a segment in a barber's chair. And the guy that was supposed to show up to do the segment in the chair didn't show up. So I jumped in the chair, and Pete was there and said, "Dre, I got to go. Get this done." So we shot it. He took the tape. He went back to MTV, played it for the higher-ups, and they loved me. And he said, "Can you come back in? I want to talk to you about this." So he said, "We're thinking about spinning MTV off into a daily show. Fab doesn't want to do it. Do you want to do it?" And I looked at him like, "Pete." He said, "What?" I said, "Pete, what? You want to hire this big fat black man from Long Island to be on MTV? I don't even look like the MTV type. I can't even fit the pants. What are you talking about?" He said, "You're great. Everybody loves you. I showed the tape. They think you're funny. You got a great presence on the camera." Pete, I don't believe you. So he introduces me to his production assistant at the time, Ted Demme, who was producing the segments of Yo MTV Raps. And Ted had me go down to his office and do another audition tape. I said, "Cool, nice meeting you." He said, "I hear a lot about you, Dr. Dre." Once again, I'm like in a warm month wearing this Def Jam jacket, trying to show my prowess off. And I'm with Def Jam, sweating like a bull. I just remember that because it's just funny. I go back to Pete's office with telling jokes, talking about Beastie Boy stuff. Ted comes back down the hall and says, "Hey, Dre, can you come back to my office? I want to introduce you to somebody." So I walk down the hall and I see this tall, skinny guy with a blonde Gumby. And I go, "Oh, okay, here it is. Never gonna get the job now." That's the MTV type. That's called skinny guy. He gets up and walks in the office. So I walk behind him. And Ted goes, "Dr. Dre, I want to introduce you to my friend Ed Lover." I said, "Hey, Ed, how you doing?" Ed goes, "Hey, man, I know you. You're on BAU. I heard your show. You guys are good. Thanks." So he said, "I got an idea. Can you guys do an audition here for me?" So we do some stuff for Ted. Ted's cracking up. Never knew Ed a day in my life. We see some
You're kidding.
Jamaican dreadlock wigs hanging on Ted's coat rack. We put them on. We go into this whole Jamaican thing in farce. Ted cracks up, grabs the tape, runs down the hall. I shook Ed's hand. I walked down the hall. "Nice meeting you." Walked back to Peter. I said, "There's no way I got this job. I just saw the guy that's going to have the job." He said, "No, the job is yours. I want you." I said, "I got to think about it." So I drove back to Long Island, went to 510 South Franklin Street, the home of Spectrum City, now being converted to the home of Public Enemy. Everybody was there in the office. I walk in. I talk to Keith. Keith's like, "No, man, don't do that. That's a sellout move." Butch is like, "I don't know. It may work." Hank is like, "I'm not certain. We can't trust them. You know they're going to take our culture." Yeah. Tuck's in behind the desk. He's putting together something, graphic art stuff. And he goes, "Dre." I said, "What? Got a job?" I said, "Not really." You might as well do it. What else you doing? I said, I'll think about it. He said, take the fucking job, man. What's the problem? And everybody's like, no, I don't know. Dre, it's MTV. They're never going to let you do what you want. I went back to see Pete a couple days later, and I said, I'll do it.
Wow.
So that's how.
And you never, but you didn't know Ed Lover at all.
Not from a can of paint.
Wow.
Huh.
You
You
guys
never
had,
went to that.
yeah, you guys had amazing chemistry.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you really did.
Because we made one promise to each other from the moment we agreed to do the show. We said, do not come here and create you. Just be you. And I'm going to just be me. And whatever that experience will be is what goes on that camera. Because we were the only people hired to be hosts on MTV. Everybody else was a VJ. So we'd seen VJs. We'd seen other people doing TV like that. They had the shows Remote Control with Adam Sandler, Ken Ober, Colin Quinn. You know, they had other things. We said, don't try to make it Saturday Night Live. Let's be us and be the best host that we can be. And then we came up with stuff as we did it. And that's how come our relationship started. If Ed and I knew each other, I don't know if it would have worked as well. Because all those years, we started to learn each other. We started to understand each other. So we were able to take bigger risks together because we had nothing, there was no animosity between us. And to this day, there's no animosity between us.
Right.
Man, he brought up remote control. All I can remember about remote control was Jenny McCarthy and Kari Wurr. I don't remember those dudes.
That's right.
Well, Adam Sandler was the guy that came in and did all the crazy stuff.
That's right.
Colin Quinn was like the sidekick, and Ken Ober was the host.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Damn. Those were the good old days.
The one thing about it, when we did our show, everybody used to come down to MTV Raps just to hang out with us.
Yeah.
Because we always had to do our show at lightning speed because everything was like, guys, we can't afford to go overtime. Oh God. So we changed clothes. We shot all 5 days in one day. And we changed clothes on the set.
I was going to ask about that.
Yes.
Yeah. What the production schedule was like. Yeah. Okay.
Holy crap.
It was, you guys got an hour, get it done.
Wow.
And then we started to be creative. Everything you saw on your MTV Raps came between Ed and I on the set or before the set. We programmed the show, top to bottom. Even bringing T-Money on as your mailman. I was mad at him because he wasn't around me when I was doing it. So I grabbed him one day, and he came up to Ted's office, and he's working for Federal Express, and he had his jacket on. I said, why don't we make T your mailman? It'd be a good idea. So he came out one day. They put black tape over the Federal Express logo, and he carried the mail out. And that's how it started.
That's hilarious.
Wow.
I mean, y'all were basically like riffing.
Mr. Green Jeans.
Right?
Excuse me?
Right.
That's crazy.
Say it again.
Oh. No, I'm saying you were basically, y'all were just like riffing it, like just whatever came creatively to you all did it, you tried it, and it worked. Fantastic show.
Well, yes. But I have to owe everything that we pulled from my side from being at BAU. Because everything that we pulled at BAU worked or it didn't work. It either worked really well or it failed miserably. And understanding that a lot of stuff we did was, in that motion. And when you work with a guy named MC DJ Flavor, aka Flavor Flav, you have to think quick on your feet. And Flavor and I used to have what they call notorious snap sessions. But we all did. I can't just say Flavor and I. But Flavor and I always ended up as the pinnacle of a snap session. So when we got to television to do it, we had did something on TV called The Word Show, The World of Rock and Dance, which Bill created and there was a host, and Chuck did the artwork, and we were all excited about being a part of it. So here, when we get to MTV, the one blessing we had is MTV didn't care about what we did. They didn't care. It was like, okay, here's the black show. We have a full black show on every day, so people can't complain about black people. But they're the blacks. We used to call us homies. The homies are on. There they are. The first guest on Your MTV Raps today. That's what we were called. The homies. The first guest on Your MTV Raps today was Carole King, the Grammy Award-winning singer,
Really?
writer, producer, Tapestry, first guest. Because she was sitting on the bleachers when we were taping the show.
No.
I said, Ted, who is that? Ted walked over to her, and he came back and said, yo, that's Carole King. I said, what? And I said, yo, can we put her on the show? He said, why not? MTV didn't care. They weren't even watching.
Oh my God.
The only time we got a criticism, we used to do exercise day and food day, right? So
Right.
they didn't complain about exercise day when I was out there exercising. And I'm also the first guy to ever bring turntables on the set and DJ
Right.
live on television. And they were like, what's that for? I told Ted, give me a turntable. And I bought my mixer. And we started playing records live. He said, turn the music. I said, no. Talk over the music. What? Talk over the music. It's called music television. Why don't we play music?
Right.
So I decided to play beats or whatever the popular songs were of the day.
Yeah.
And in doing that, it became like, wow. So we got away with, I think, 3 weeks of food day. We had hamburgers one day, hot dogs another time, something else. And a note came to Ted. Maybe you guys need to rethink food day. Because the big guy and the skinny guy eating food, that's kind of stereotypical. I said, that's stereotypical? Wow. But when we did exercise day, nobody complained.
Right.
It's just funny. But we came up with all that stuff. We would be in Ted's office talking, and then at the first time we first started, we didn't have enough videos to do a whole week. So we put in like Parliament Funkadelic. We put in Bob Marley. We mixed also. And they were like, we can't play those videos. Why not? Because it's not rap. It's okay. Rap people like this music. It's all right. We can get away with it. And we did.
Did you Ed or did you and Ed?
Important.
Oh, sorry, Dre. I was gonna say, did you and Ed have say over what videos were programmed?
We programmed from day one. We programmed the show to the last day.
Okay. Wow.
And then they tried to take that away from us because they said, "Oh, you guys got too much power." And we said, "No, we don't. You guys haven't even paid attention to this show since day one. Now all of a sudden it's the biggest show on MTV. You guys want to program? Yeah. Get out of here."
Of course.
Yep. Wow.
We had to deal with standards and practice, but we got to program everything. We almost wanted. Sometimes it got a little risque with the 2 Live crew and move something. But we couldn't resist.
When doesn't it get a little risque with 2 Live?
Yeah, right. Exactly.
Look, we played a lot of risque stuff and took it right there to the edge. And we used to get in trouble with I forgot the woman's name in acquisitions. And she said, "Well, you need to come to acquisition meetings and then go to and we can tell you." I said, "Well, then you invite us to the meeting." They're gonna come to the meeting? Invite us to the meeting. They invited us to one meeting. Then all of a sudden it became the elusive meeting. Because you never know what is happening. Because we know about videos as they're being shot or they happen. And we go, we got to get this. And Ted would go in and fight for it. Peter and I would fight for everything that we would do. But once the show became popular, all of a sudden, MTV was like, "No, hey, guys, we can take care of it." "No, you can't. No, you can't."
If they did, that show wouldn't have lasted as long as it did. If they did
seriously.
you all
Right.
do it.
Yep.
We got away with stuff
Hmm.
and put people on the map that would have never had that opportunity. And I got to give credit to Ralph McDaniels and the Vid Kid Lionel Martin for what they did with Video Music Box. But that was in the tri-state area, and they were able, because it was Ralph's show, to do and play everything faster than us locally, but nationally. Ed&I were on fire, and Fab Five Freddy.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about it. When we were doing Yo in the beginning, the first 2 years, there was no cable in the city. Not like that.
Mhm.
I used to record the shows for Ed and play for Ed. Even T didn't see the shows because he didn't have cable. I used to go to
Oh
T's
my
house
gosh.
to watch Video Music Box, and he'd come to my house so we could watch Yo reruns. That's just the way it was.
Oh my
So
God.
the Bronx had no cable. Brooklyn had no cable. Queens, only sections had cable. Even in Manhattan, certain sections of Manhattan had cable, but it didn't have MTV. But everywhere else around the world and around the country had MTV.
Yeah.
And that's why we played so many videos from all over. That's why you got the True Live crew. That's why you got MC Breed, MC Shy D. I mean, the Ghetto Boys. I mean, the list goes on. How
Too
all
short.
Because why y'all playing them black rappers? Dude, because the one thing about Yo, when you saw that logo, not once did it say East Coast or West Coast. It just said Yo MTV Raps.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
So I got a
And
question for you, Dre.
And tell them that broke hammer. Go ahead.
So it actually involves Fab Five Freddy. One of my favorite episodes, and I wanted to ask you about this, is when Fab Five Freddy went to Compton, was riding around in a Suzuki Samurai with Ice Cube and N.W.A. Whose idea was that? Because that was like the dopest episode ever for me personally.
I have no idea. That must have been Moses Edinburgh and Eazy and the N.W.A. factions with Jerry Heller in them, which was always so interesting. Because Fab was the one who had to go out and do the interviews, and we were supposed to be in studio. But we were becoming so popular that people were requesting us to do show, to come to them. And I remember the conversations with Jerry Heller. He was like, "I will pay Ed and Dre to come out here and have Easy and them be on the show for the week." And they took us around the Slauson swap meet, and all around Compton with them differently than they did with Fab, because we brought humor and a certain personality to it. Fab was always the epitome of cool.
Yeah.
And that's why, because people used to go, "Oh, Fab show was this, you guys are so much this." Yeah, but the thing is, the two differences of the show worked.
Yeah.
So when you got Yo with Fab, you got a different view. You're talking about Fab introduced us to MC Hammer.
Yep.
And Jennifer Lopez, believe it or not.
Yeah.
That was her first national debut on Yo MTV Raps.
Wow.
But Ed and I had to be more creative being in the studio. And we had a great group of folks behind the scenes. Moses Edinburgh, Jack Benson, Penny McDonald, the late great Todd One, Martha Diaz, and there's so many others that actually helped us out. Because like I said, when we started, it was only Fab, Ed, Peter, Ted, and me.
Yeah.
Nobody else. That's why they always call Ted's office, "Oh, the homies are here." Because when we walked in MTV, there was no other black people in there. I remember the first time I walked in the hallway, and I was looking up and down the hallway, and I said, "There's got to be at least one black woman at a desk. Anybody. One Puerto Rican woman at a desk. Anybody. One Asian. Anybody." Nope. And I remember looking down the hallway, and there were these two guys emptying the garbage can. I said, "There they are. There's black people." There they go. So we always used to say we colorized MTV.
Good.
Yeah.
Right?
Word up. Word up.
And as the show
Yep.
grew, so did our presence behind the scenes as well as in front of the camera.
Yeah. Yep. M-Rock, did you have a question?
Yeah, man, absolutely. So you and Ed were such a great combo on Yo MTV Raps. So as your like relationship started to kind of bloom and people were like getting onto you guys, is that what encouraged you guys to make Back Up Off Me, the album, and then go into Who's the Man, the movie?
Reverse. We did Who's the Man, the movie first, because at the time we were exploding on MTV based on our reception at the spring breaks we went to. And this is in Yo Bigger Stuff, the Dr. Dre episodes, which I will probably be releasing on my birthday this year. We wanted to do a movie, and we went to MTV to discuss doing a movie. And they were like, oh, you guys should hold off. We're doing this movie. It's called Joe's Apartment. And when you guys see this movie, you're going to want to do MTV Films. This is going to be a great movie. Everybody's going to want to see Joe's Apartment. So they tried to sell us on that. And we were like, okay, Joe's Apartment. And Ted was like, yeah. Now, we knew Ted Demi's uncle was Jonathan Demme, the Academy Award winning director.
Yeah.
And we
Right.
met him a few times. And we started getting a good relationship together. So we're like, yeah, we got to do a movie. And Ed was like, definitely. So our manager was Charles Stetler, who managed the Fat Boys from Crush Groove fame and Disorderlies. And we all were like, we got to do this. We got to come with a movie. And Ed and I sat down and we came up with this idea about barbers and discovering oil in Harlem. And everybody said, that's crazy. That's crazy. But we came up with that after we went to see Joe's Apartment. And we were sitting in the theater, and it was about, I forgot the actor's name, and roaches in his apartment. We said, oh, hell no. Hell no. Doing no movie about roaches in an apartment. What kind of stuff? These are the same people that told me you're stereotypical with Food Day. You're doing a movie about roaches. Are you kidding? So we came up with the barbers and the oil in Harlem. And Who's the Man was born.
Oh, that's great. Hey, well, Dre, got a little surprise. The Hard Rhymer himself, your old classmate, Chuck D, has stopped by the show.
Surprise!
Surprise.
Surprise.
What's up, Mr. Chuck?
I wish I could be as cool as Dre and have
really?
like he has this logo up there, and I'm like, okay, I could have put it just been on audio too, because I'm actually 3 hours different, so I'm on eating and dinner time, so I'm gonna do like your man Flavor Flav and eat on camera, Dre. Greetings, greetings, crew.
Well,
Greetings.
Peace, Chuck.
Hello.
greetings.
I've been running like crazy, but anyway, let me not
Greetings,
interrupt.
Chuck of the
Let me not interrupt here to the greatest storyteller ever in hip hop history, because you want to hear stories. Dre got stories.
Oh, yeah.
He's apparently got 2 books of stories he's getting ready to release.
Yeah, 2 books worth.
Yep.
We really got a library worth. Well,
Chuck is breaking up. I don't get it.
Oh,
is it my headset, or is it me eating?
I don't know. You sound fine to me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Sound issues again.
Yeah, it's always sound issues.
Well, Dre's hearing is definitely sharp, so he could tell if something's wrong. So, yeah. Well, anyway, let me not break up this party. I'm all ears and also eating with my mouth. Yo, good to hear you on here, Dre. And what's up, crew? And Jenny, I got you back. You know, thanks a lot. C-Doc told me about it, and I got you. Fantastic work. Okay. Enough
I'm
of me.
glad
Thank
you
you,
liked
Chuck.
it.
So, Dre, I know you only got a few minutes left because we're at 10 o'clock right now. So Real quick, I want to start because you kind of told me about it before. I want to circle back to the
Yeah,
original
I can always
concept.
come back for part 2. I
Okay,
can always come back for part 2 if you need.
There we go.
we can do that. So before we wrap this up, I want to circle back to the original concept and straight from the basement of Cooley High, because you were talking earlier about Bomb Squad sampling and you guys sampling, and that album really displays an amazing eclectic collection collage of music and samples. And can you talk about that record a bit?
I couldn't hear your question. Sorry, it's breaking up.
That's okay.
The technology is wearing us down.
It is. I was just saying, can you talk about the Cooley High, the Straight from the Basement of Cooley High album, and how you guys put it together? Maybe you can't hear me.
That was almost a 2.5-year labor of
some
love
weird,
from the time
there's some
I left
weird
the,
clicking stuff.
Raising Hell album, Raising Hell tour, to getting that album done, and a lot of should we say hurdles, struggles, and walls to complete it. And I just got to thank one of my partners, the late great Elliot Noble, for championing me back and forth up and down through the road to get it done. T Money, Easy G Rockwell, Rapper G, Kenny Wallace, the late great Mike Saxon, Randy London, Prospect Pump Committee, who came out for a lot of songs and voices. Mike D of the Beastie Boys, who now claims I wasn't on that record. What are you talking about? I didn't do that. Yes, you did. You did. He's got a mustache with us. Drove him all the way out from Manhattan to Central Islip. I mean, East Islip, as well as T Money and I were on the License to Ill album song, Girls. No credit. That goes into the Rick Rubin story. Tell more of that a little later. But I'd like to tell the story, but I can't hear you that well. And I want to get into particulars. But it's all in the book. It's going to be in the book. A lot more detail, a lot more truths. And it was Chuck who actually twisted my right arm after going to a Adelphi University, a showcase of his artwork. And him saying, Dre, you got to write a book. You got all these stories. You got to write a book. So that's where your biggest stuff came from. Because when I first started writing it, he said, Dre, what? Don't write War and Peace, Volume 1 and 2. Just give us a book. So I tried to streamline it down as much as I could. And we're gonna put that together and get it out at the end of the year. Because when it was ready early, COVID, and we were like, okay, let's get ready to execute this sucker. This thing called COVID-19 showed up. And I said, I'm not going out there with a hazmat suit and sign autographs for a book. Not gonna happen. And some people say, oh, you can do it especially. I said, no. This is the kind of thing you want to see people face to face and hear them and tell some stories. And I just thought it'd be a better idea to do it that way. So that will be coming. But I'm going to come back and I can talk about Straight from the Basement a little bit better because it's breaking up and I don't want to not hear your question correctly.
Okay, sure. Yeah, we'll have you back anytime, bro. Just give me a call. We'll set it up.
Yeah, he's the greatest storyteller.
This is how I get to twist your arm and get to come back and be on the show with C-Doc and company.
Yeah, of course.
no twisted arm.
Yeah,
man,
come on,
man.
I appreciate that.
I mean, matter of fact, you being interviewed,
bro, you twisted my arm at the diner in front of the wife with Bill, and we made it a lot.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you twisted. Hey, listen. You twisted my arm.
Okay.
You twisted my arm, getting me involved with all this stuff. Dre was the first guy out of the Long Island camp.
Say it again.
Dre was the first guy out of the whole entire Long Island camp to involve himself with what was going on in the city with the new Def Jam. Before it was Def Jam, Run, DMC, He wrote on Raising Hell album. We had heard Raising Hell. Dre, I wonder if you still have any of those tapes, man, because we had heard Raising Hell before it was Raising Hell in all of its demo glory. And that came from you. And we was like, wow. I mean, and the Raising Hell that came out was nothing like the tapes that you had.
Yeah, I got that inspiration from the one and only MC DJ Flavor, who told me, and I quote, after Bill left the Mr. Bill show, he said, Dre, this show's about the tapes. I don't care about them records. We got to play the tapes. So that's what we used to rush out and scour from all over the city and from Long Island. And that was a great blessing. Like I said, my greatest creative incubator of all time would be Adelphi University's WBAU with that gentleman and quite a few others. And I don't want to forget Steffi Siha, Night Nurse, and the Nurse, because we are in the concept cuties, Tantalizer too. We had women up there too. We what was pulled off in that span of time, and our ability to say this thing's going to be bigger than what we're just thinking of.
Yeah,
I
tell you,
design at Def Jam had me play Public Enemy #1 for Russell Simmons, or for Rick Rubin, because the Beasties, I was playing them all the BAU stuff when we would do shows, and he said, you got to play this for Rick. And Russell jumped off the futon, took my tape and threw it out the window and said, that's garbage, that'll never work. I said, dude, are you crazy?
Yo, Dre.
People, oh yeah, I discovered Public Enemy. No, you didn't.
Dre, it's absolutely madness when I tell people at the end of 1984.
Say it again, Chuck.
At the end of 1984, I come up to the show operating room, and I have the tape of Public Enemy #1, complete with the Sugar Ray Bolo, because he had just beat Roberto and frustrated Roberto Duran in Montreal in a fight. And I reach across Jam Master Jay's lap, because he was up there every week anyway, and hand Public Enemy #1 to you, who immediately plays it. It's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it was no big deal, because
I think when you made Public Enemy #1,
tapes.
we did a gig, and I remember that guy tried to stick the gig up or something, and you were hot. And this, when Chuck says, when I get mad, I put it down on the pad. Well, prior to that lyric, when Chuck got mad, he went in the studio, and next weekend, BAU, you would hear everything come out of him, pissed off.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Think that was kind of a part of the inspiration for Public Enemy #1.
It was so many crazy ass. I mean, it's more of a movie than you know, like if they talk about a PE movie, which I'll reserve my feelings about it, but how could they not have a large percentage of this movie about BAU Spectrum and really damn near being 20%, if not 35% of it? Because I remember Hempstead High had a talent contest, and we had to announce the winner, and the winner was a guy by the name of IU Freeze. And IU Freeze, they said, was winning, but then he got I think he got canceled because I think he did something lewd on stage, like he dropped his drawers or something like that. And we were talking about on the radio, like, we want to give it to IU Freeze, but then later on I found out the IU Freeze turns into Granddaddy IU.
Oh my God.
We got stories like that. Listen, we got stories like that. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to announce this to IU Freeze, because I heard that, you know, I mean, come on, you shouldn't have to do that. You know, his the high. They're like, IU Freeze, man. It was, I think your show was like somebody calls up and says, yo, man, I wanted to say shout out to
Roller Castle.
Yo. Oh, man, that's crazy. Oh, that's absolutely crazy. Where oh, no, it's not about me. It's about your story, but you're in it, though. You're in it. It's like, I don't know how much, you know, can we even begin to talk about that one? Because at Roller Castle, we was throwing gigs, and we were supposed to have a Mastodon committee. They didn't show up. I happened to have LL's number because Hank and Harry went to Manhattan Center, which was the former Ben Franklin High School, and they had LL's number in it. And we were doing the show, and I just said, well, their Mastodon committee's going to jerk us. Let me call and see if LL's home. And sure enough, he would happen to, I call up, and he's like, yo. I'm like, yo, this is Chuck from WBAU. Yeah, I listen to y'all. Yo, who's this? I said, it's L. I'm like, whoa, I called the crib. I said, yo, man, we're at Roller Castle, man. We got a MC judging contest. Mastodon's not going to show up. Will you come on down? I mean, so I like what y'all doing over there, man. Y'all playing my records because we're playing I Need a Beat. Dre played it to death. And cool. He shows up. Mastodon doesn't show up, but they're all over the flyers, and people are just dying to see Funkbox Party. And BAU brought them back to life. We brought them back to life on WBAU after the record was a year old, but they didn't show up. They did the jerk, but L shows up, and he judges the MC show. But afterwards, the MC show, Dre gets on the turntables, and if you want to hear anybody on the turntables cutting and scratching and the same level of Jazzy J and Jeff and MC and DJ Cheese at the time, and all the Dre ranked with every single one of them. Him, and not only just Dre, but Dre and Easy G, and both of them together, like, man, they'll tear a turntable up. I mean, seriously. So Dre gets on the tables and starts cutting and scratching, and L gets on the mic in the Roller Castle Roller Rink booth, and L goes through this long, non-stop rhyming, and Dre is cutting and scratching, and L puts his hand on it, stops the turntable, goes a cappella for 4 minutes. And we got, what they say is we got more than what we bargained for by far, because it really ended up being a jerk gig. Like the guys didn't show up, and L saved the day. And to this day, I say, L, you saved my life, bro. And Dre, and I left when y'all was getting down because I had to promote the money, and I had to get it over. I had to get it over to Hank, and I got out of there, and everybody was distracted looking at what Dre and LL were doing. This is 1985.
Wow.
1985.
Yeah.
Wow.
LL comes from his grandma's house, which was like 15 minutes or 10 minutes away from Roller Castle, which was on the edge of Queens and Nassau County. Pops up, shows up, comes on in, and does a 30-minute and Elmont, and does a 30-minute performance with Dre on the turntables, scratching and cutting like a madman.
Wow. Well, Dr. Dre, you were welcome to come back. I know you gotta be out of here 10:15, so we will cut you loose, and you are welcome back at any time.
Doc, we got to do it again.
Yes, definitely.
And maybe we could come on,
Absolutely.
and we can hear.
Yep, we'll get the sound issues figured out.
Appreciate it.
No, thank you for coming through, Dre.
Absolutely.
All right,
Thanks,
man.
Dre.
We will talk soon.
Thank you so much.
Talk in a minute, Dre.
Peace.
Thank everybody. Thank everybody for having me. I appreciate it. There's more fun. There's more fun to tell. Chuck, I gotta give you a buzz.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I gotta say one quick thing. Happy birthday to my daughter today. My daughter was born.
Wow.
And it was one of the greatest days of my life ever.
Happy birthday.
And next week, my daughter graduates from law school. The next greatest day of my life. Yeah. So,
Wow.
I'm pretty
Congratulations.
That's
May's
awesome.
a very busy month for me with birthdays for my mother, my son, my brother, my partners. Everybody in the mama is born in May. So in June, I don't celebrate anything. I quit.
Yeah, man. I got 2 daughters' birthdays next week. So hell yeah, I get
There's
I get
birthdays
it.
from the 1st to the 31st. I just quit come June 1st.
All
Love
right.
you,
Thanks,
man.
everybody. Chuck, I'll give
Thank
you
you.
a buzz.
Thanks, Dre.
Okay.
We'll talk
All right.
later.
Thanks,
man.
Dre.
C-Doc, thanks again. And yes,
Anytime.
C-Doc, we are going to do the music.
Yes,
And my
sir.
son called me back tonight, and he said, Dad, I'm sorry about Sunday. It's all right. I was a little upset, and I got jumped on you. I said, it's all right, man. It's okay. It's okay. We all right.
He'll,
Wow.
he'll get back to helping you make
Happy
the beats.
birthday, Angelique. Love all y'all. Appreciate this.
Salute, Dre.
We're going to be all right. That's a whole
Yep.
different story. See, Chuck twisted my right arm for the book, and then he's twisting my left arm for the music. So I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah, man.
Thank you, everybody. I got to jump. Be good.
All right.
Dre.
All right. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you, Dre.
All right. Love you too, bro. Peace.
Thanks so much.
Yeah.
That's some history right there.
You have no idea, Chuck. You have no idea. You got no idea. Some history. I don't even know how to describe how much history it is. And you got people out there that they tell stories, and the stories. Once you heard 3 to 4 stories, they're all in the same vein of, okay, it's okay, I heard it before. You went down the block, you had beef on this street, and then you had beef on the other one. You got, but these are actually genuine stories about hip hop, people, good vibes, acquaintances, meetings, trials, tribulations, good luck, bad luck, and we're still here.
Yeah.
You can't replace those times, man. The time, that's what I say. They talk about a Public Enemy movie. I'm like, it's impossible to tell. It's one of those things you really can't tell it or convey it in a movie, because we really didn't have any tragedy, so to speak. Tragedy,
Right.
with a capital, like N.W.A. was just laced with all kinds of, like, oh my God. I mean, they were a roller coaster ride, man, for a 2-year period, man. It was all compressed into this thing, but we have a long, drawn out, exciting merry-go-round where people come on and get thrown off, and it speeds up, and they get back on. So it's a little different. I don't know. Doc, you're the filmmaker, so I don't know how that works, man.
It's a mini series.
Right.
It's a
I could definitely see a BAU movie though.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
I can see a BAU. Look. I can see a BAU like what they did with Wu-Tang.
Yeah. Sure.
Yep.
Because you got the beginning of hip hop, you got artists coming up, you got the convergence of a lot of different things, and you got the formation of all. I mean, yeah. You know what? And we don't have like the everyday. We were surrounded by everything. Well, meaning that you were surrounded by the thugs. You was also surrounded by the colleges. You was also surrounded by the ball players. You were surrounded by everything. So that whole total environment, I think, gives a story. Where sometimes, the other story, when they put the urban thing to hip hop, it's always super urban, and the curiosity for people to look at it is like, oh wow, this is Black life in the 80s. It's like, all right, yeah. But it was a whole, and we were older, so it wasn't exactly 12 and 14 where the romanticism could catch you up in it. No, we were very real. We was in our 20s. We knew what the hell was going on. We talked about it. We dialogued. We said, this can't be like this, man. It's got to be better, man. And you're talking about when I was in college, my sophomore year, my freshman and sophomore year, Jimmy Carter's the president.
Yeah.
Wow.
I get a chance to vote for the first time. And who did I vote for president? Angela Davis. And I got caught up in the math thing, because a vote not for Jimmy Carter was a vote for Reagan,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then Ronald Wilson Reagan gets up in there with George Bush as running mate. And, you know, I'm like, wow. So it's eeny, meeny, miny, mo when it comes down to voting in the United States of America. Oops, I get it now. So I thought, you know, I was doing it. And I did. My first vote was for Angela Davis. I don't regret it. But then I knew the farce of this going to beat that, and and start to look at that a little more wisely, because I said, oh yeah, this is the game. And we had Reagan Bush for 12 years, and from year 1 all the way to year 12, it was nonstop devastation in the Black community.
Yep.
And not to say my vote was going to change the tide anyway, but it just made me look at it. I said, because the beginnings of the 80s was rough, man. It was rough. And if you was Black in the United States at that particular time, it was going to be rough, because your community surround you was just capsized by guns and drugs out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
And you know, the pioneers of hip hop knew they were not only surrounded by guns and drugs, they were submerged into it, and still they chose not to really rap about it, because they wanted to get away from it.
Right.
So nobody was more hood than what the MCs in Manhattan and the Bronx were dealing with at that particular time. They was dealing with so much guns and drug trafficking, man, that you know, that the Raps just had to say, let's try to keep it party. Let's try to keep it party. Let's not try to go there, you know.
Cool Keith famously said, you know, they asked him, why weren't you rapping about that stuff? Why were you rapping about sci-fi shit? And he goes, because we saw that shit every day. We didn't want to rap about it.
Duh.
Yeah, we were trying to go somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It was not fascinating at all. Nobody wanted to hear that.
Right.
Nobody wanted to hear about no street life. Mm-mm. We wanted to hear about the music. The music was the thing that kept a lot of people focused during R&B, and that was Reagan and Bush.
Yep.
So, do you think that, you know, I mean, I listen to Fear of a Black Planet. Were the times, I mean, you just hard. I mean, was it, you know, were you inspired to go that hard because of what was going on?
I think the music is too loud. You got the music on? Just turn it down a little bit. Yeah. It was the music. No, I'll tell you to turn it off. That's not up to me to say that. I just didn't hear Chuck as well. Was the music too hard?
Still too loud and rock.
No.
Oh man, I can barely hear it over here.
And bring the noise, man. Bring the noise.
Oh man,
how low can you go?
I think about tracks like Terradome and what was going to work out and whatnot.
Right.
And, I mean, clearly there was so much passion when you were rapping those lyrics. I mean, did you feel like you had pressure on you to like come that hard, given what was going on in the political landscape?
Well, LL Cool J, man, he said, you know, the Rock the Bells, which is LL and Rick. I mean, he set the bar right hard as hell. I mean,
yeah.
So Rock the Bells, man. Let me tell you, man. Rock the Bells, for whatever people want to say about LL Cool J and not giving him his top 10 props or GOAT props, man. I'm trying to tell you right now, man. I've seen this dude behind him, in front of him, on the side of him, with him. You need power and speed and stamina to be able to rock that with and he set the bar with his ferocity. You know, artists before that could get that extra breath by trading off on the mic. So they just always had to be ready. But a lot of their grooves were like sort of like, okay, they could go in and out and you keep the party rocking. Run DMC and the whole Def Jam Rush movement was almost like what it's like that. Pop, 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 pop. You couldn't whisper over that. You couldn't be smooth over that.
Right.
You had to ride. You had to ride that horse, and that horse was like a tyrannosaurus, a triceratops or something, a dinosaur. You had to really ride it or get bucked, and the fact that they had to have two people to do it made them attack a record differently. Well, LL came in, man. Not only attacked it, man, but he obliterated something that was that fast and furious. It didn't have to double time it. To me, that the standard was set right there.
Yeah.
I tried my first album to attack it on Ride Starter. And it didn't happen. And I attacked it, you know. I was a little bit more in the pocket when it came down to when I had to bite on Rebel, you know. So then I found, okay, that's the bite. You're not gonna learn. I learned how to bite it in a good rapper sense. I didn't learn how to bite it from Rakim, because Rakim and KRS-One was the first MCs that slowed the beat to them. They made the beat go to them. That was, to me, that was phenomenal. They didn't attack it. They just like tamed it. Tamed and trained it. I was like, what the hell is this? But Run and DMC, and then you had MCs that attack, but at that speed, and that hardness, and that fast and furious pace, man. LL Cool J, man. You know, I mean, later, of course, there was signs like when Mel wanted to get on it, like step off. You know, when Beat Street, you know, and he kept. You know, so those are some of the things that led and inspired people to even take it on. Now, back up towards the late 80s, then you had cats like Kane, and
yeah.
So Kane had power and speed, man. He didn't sound like a third grader either.
Nope.
So so you know, he didn't sound like a third grader. So he's very and you know, and the Beastie Boys, three of them all attacked. They attacked the beats and screamed over them. Yeah. So it's attacking the beat and MCing and letting it come to you. It's just two different methods. KRS-One could probably do them both, but KRS-One is one of those guys like Rakim that he trained the beat to come to him and just commanded it. So I was able to take a little bit from that. By the time we get to Terror Dome, I'm like, yeah, I'm attacking. Public Enemy number one was an attack. Time Bomb was an attack. But LL Cool J, Rock the Bells, he attacked a monster. That track is a monster.
Oh yeah, it's probably one of my favorite tracks, man.
Bro,
that is track.
This is what I'm saying. The biggest difference between now and back in the day, and I'm getting ready to open up a whole department of. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to criticize new MCs, because I put out something controversial early in the week when I reposted and printed somebody else's top 50.
Oh yeah.
And I told people, I said, I like it because there's names on this list that usually don't make lists.
Right.
Now, I'm not trying to say I had a little bit of sarcasm in it, you know. I'm not saying I should have been on it. I mean, I damn sure probably couldn't have been on this person's list. But he had no KRS-One, and I think Jay-Z is number one. I think Nas is number two. So automatically, you guess the age right there.
Yeah.
I mean, we are going into the 50th year of hip hop. We are at such a impasse and confusion state that we have to kind of resolve people like we're judging art too. So everybody's going, you know, everybody has their own playlists and they have their their own top 10 or top 20 or whatever, top 50, top 100. And I think the actual list probably is going to be like Rolling Stone's greatest songs, where they have their top 500, so everybody feels happy.
Right.
Even if they're, number 473,
Right.
It happened to be something by Little Richard too. That was like the mean rock and roll record that a girl can't help it or something like that, and be like, oh, Little Richard 473. It's like, wow, damn, where's Tutti Frutti at?
Right.
So we're getting into a point where generations are now combining and clashing and wrestling, and the criteria gets a little lost. But I would tell you this much, which leads me to this point, but without just being all over the place, you got to see these cats live, man. Because, I mean, you can brag about a studio all you want, or a studio rendition. If you didn't see the person live, you could fix something in the studio, even back then, to seemingly, make it happen. Now, when we were in the studio, I tried not to be that person, like, oh, punch that in. I never did that. It's like, I gotta give myself a headache even. I gotta win this one out, because I probably gotta perform this thing live in front of 20,000 people. So I better figure this out.
Yep.
I don't think in the last 20 years the show has been such a priority. So you can construct, visuals and audios and kind of get to a show where you could perform it, but you don't attack it. Because attacking a record is different from performing it, man. Performing it, you got to master a lot of qualities, man. You got to control a room at 20,000 people. God help you on that one. To control a room at 1,000 people, you really got to kind of figure it out. And then control a room at 100 people, it's a different dynamic. So, if somebody got a top 50 and never saw them, not one of those acts live, I'm like, how am I going to look at your top 50 with any kind of, oh, well, you know what? You ain't got to see somebody to say they number one. I said, no. You could do whatever you want to do with your list. That's cool.
Yeah.
My list is going to be based on who I seen.
Mm-hmm.
Biggie made my list only because I seen him perform once, and he did not move out of one space. Puffy was all over the place. So they did the right thing. They did the right thing on stage. Biggie, don't move, because you can't handle these records if you move and you sweat. And you're not. There's one big dude that could do that. One big dude I ever saw pull it off, do the lyrics and move around as Heavy D.
Heavy D.
Oh, really?
Right.
Yep. Have always put on a show, man.
Yo, you had to earn. People talk about Hammer, right? Number one, it's like you laugh all you want about Hammer, but you can't do what he's doing. He's moving, doing them lyrics, and you running out of breath. Yep. So as hip hop has gotten older, it's really funny to see. Well, I don't know if it's funny, but cats 40 years and older, man. It's like, it's either you do the songs or the song's going to do you. And if you made a very difficult recording in your early 20s, you ain't doing that song at 45. So you could continue to, but today, like I also said in the post, screens help, because screens, you could be in one place and do a phenomenal show in a big place, and the screens will cover you.
Yeah.
I helped DJ Lord open up Coachella 2 weeks ago, and open up Coachella. You got people trickling in, that type of thing. But that stage was as big as an aircraft carrier. The first week I did it, I tried to do it the old-fashioned way and cover the span of a stage post-pandemically, and I was like, wait a minute. Second week I did it. I stayed in this general area and let the cameras and the screens follow me. And I'm saying, okay, this is the pace. You got to grow into that, because that's the same mistakes you see a lot of artists. They see a stage, they get overhyped, they see a crowd, and the first thing they do is jump on the stage and run out of breath.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand how somebody, number one, if you smoke, and you've been smoking for 25 years, and you 42 years old, don't fool yourself, man. Stay in one spot. Don't go nowhere. Stay in one spot. Try to get those rounds before those rounds, put you down. I'm saying it in a nice way. It's like it's a big difference between the caretaker and the undertaker. You want to caretake this performance, because if you don't caretake, the undertaker is going to take care of you. You're not going to make it.
Yep.
Yeah. So.
That's like after the Stet Coney Island show, and they were all passed out the next day.
Yeah, it's and their records are difficult. Even when they do have trade-offs, because Daddy-O, The Light, Wise, they attack. So they attacking around. So that they come from a point where you had to attack the mic. You're attacking the rhyme. So you're attacking the mind, and you moving around, and you're 20 years older. So you got to figure that out. It'll come to you on a longer tour. But if you're doing a short run, you got to kind of figure that out in rehearsals. But who wouldn't know better than them? They're scholars. Yes, ma'am.
I knew that after the Coney Island show, Daddy-O said, "I'm not screaming anymore. I'm not doing that voice anymore. I'm not yelling anymore."
Well, that's like Howlin' Wolf said, he ain't gonna sound like this. Once he sees the crowd, he's gonna go into Daddy-O mode. It's just like it's something that you gotta live with. It's gonna come out of you, because once you're on the stage and you're looking at, a certain amount of people, you gotta handle that space. You gotta handle that room. Monitors could help you out a bit if the monitors are great, but if the monitors are not great and the space is vast, you're gonna end up going and screaming.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you're on a long tour, let's say if you're on a long tour, chances are after your first 3 shows, you're gonna lose your voice, and then on your 5th show, it's gonna pop back, hopefully. So I used to be kind of funny. I used to be like, I take cats on tour and watch them on the 2nd show, all try to come to me for lozenges and stuff like that. I'm like, I told you to tone it down. Well, I didn't do what I do. And every single one of them lost their voice. But I happen to be in tour reps all the time. So even going out with Kings of the Mic tour, yeah, Ice Cube and LL and De La Soul, who always was doing shows at that time anyway. And it was an honor to have LL and Ice Cube call me Iron Lung. So I say all this to say, I might not make people's top 50 or top 100, but I know that there's a certain criteria that counts. It's a criteria that counts.
Yep.
I think
Yes,
you
it does.
sell yourself short in the LL was better, LL was this, LL. I think you sell yourself massively short.
No, I don't. I sell myself right where it is. I had help.
Yeah, but you know
LL don't
what
need no
though? But you know what though? Back at the radio station days when you guys weren't even out yet. And here you go, so chuckified you can tell your stupid little Orange Juice Jones story.
M-Rock. M-Rock, turn that music down, M-Rock. I got something real quick.
I'm gonna take another bite of
all right
of eel sushi.
Ooh.
We gotta have this in the background when she's
Nice.
telling us, Chuck.
No,
It's coming.
And
It's
also
coming.
say, I could use these, so forgive the fork.
Oh, there you go.
Here comes
Yeah, you got to be OG with it.
I'll tell you another short story before you go into that. There's always somebody to remind me of something, whatever I do. That comes with older age. Kyle Jason knows that across from the old Air America, there used to be a sushi restaurant. I go across the street with Kyle. Who's sitting in there? Melvin Van Peebles.
Oh, wow.
What?
So Melvin Van Peebles sitting in there, and me and Kyle. So, we're talking to him, right? I'm eating, right? Like this. And he takes my bowl of rice away from me, takes the chopsticks and says, "No, this is how you do it. You do it like this." And like, you know, I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, dude. And you know, Kyle, Doc. So Kyle's looking at me. I'm looking at Ice. And Melvin says, "Yeah, man. When I go, you know, Thailand, man. Boom, 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 boom." And he gives me back the bowl of my chopsticks. We got stories. So every time I look at chopsticks, I think of Mario Van Peebles' dad, who showed me how to use chopsticks perfectly so they don't fall from your chopsticks. So,
oh my God.
Anyway, sorry, Jenny.
But this is coming from, you know, you talked about calling LL and getting him to come down. We used to call Ice-T and get him to come down.
Oh, wow.
N.W.A. came directly from the radio station that I worked for.
Wow.
So to be, oh, there you go. Oh, crap. Orange Juice Jones. So sitting in a car going to an oyster bar with Orange Juice Jones. And he says, "Yo, baby, you got a cassette tape?" And pops this thing in. And what do you suppose he's playing me?
The Rain?
No. You.
Oh, okay.
And
wow.
You guys weren't even out yet.
Yo, bum rush the show.
Yeah, they would. Well, sure enough, like Dre was telling the story that Russell threw it out the window, and then Rick signed us, and then it just kept getting around. So everybody kept like, "Russell, you know, that Public Enemy thing over there is interesting." And Russell kept coming around. So obviously, that by Juice having that tape, that tape didn't come from Rick. Juice is Russell's man. So,
and Juice, he says he played the whole thing. He said, "So what do you think?" I was like, "Well, those are some really angry young black men, but I've never heard anything like it in my life."
I tell you, I'm trying to tell you now. When I did,
and I went immediately back to the radio station and I said to him, "You're giving me that tape." "Oh, I can't do that." "No, you're giving me that tape." I can't, baby, I can't do that, baby. Just give me the damn tape. But I went back and told everybody who would listen. And we were on the phone with Russell Simmons, whoever the hell would listen to them. "We can't give it to you yet." Whatever.
Oh boy. Yeah, I tell you
but
what. Yeah,
so I'm telling you, you sell yourself short.
I'm supposed to.
I know you do. I know.
Because if I didn't sell myself short, I probably wouldn't be on these shows like this. I'd be selling myself big-headed.
Your street cred went up majorly when you dropped in tonight. Let me tell you.
Yep.
You know how Mayhem on Allstate, he was like, "This is going to get tens and tens of views." Like your street cred was way up coming on our show.
Oh, we went from 22 people in the stream to 24, bro. As soon as you came on.
Yeah.
Yo, man, it's called atmosphere.
Yes.
Let me tell you, the replay gang loves it though. I'm part of the replay gang, you know.
Yep, they do. Indeed, they do.
And you know what? I've spent most of my real estate time here, at least until the Knicks start coming back and losing again.
Oh yeah.
Now, you got all them UK players up there, man. What are you talking about? Julius Randle and those guys are good.
Look at his face.
That's right, man.
Bro, let me tell you, man, tonight before I got on, I was entrenched with the playoffs. Knicks in the playoffs. But it was YouTube. It was from 1978. I made it to the second half, and then I decided to call you. Too bad. I know the outcome, and some of those players are dead. So
Yeah.
it's the thing about YouTube is that you don't have to live in the moment. You could be at another century, another state of mind and time, and you probably catch up on something that you missed last century anyway.
Yeah.
So I don't have to be in 2022 a lot. I'm, like that whole thing about being present. I think the quote unquote metaverse is the past, present, and the future is all on the same flat line. And that's to get people engaged. Replay gang is important too.
Yeah, of course.
Catch it on your time.
Of course.
It's something to do. It's something that's great about the spontaneity of live.
Yeah.
But I think we could get overbearing with the importance of the metrics, where sometimes the metrics, of course, the metrics is going to be there live if a person's getting ready to jump off a building.
Right.
But why should we stoop to, idiocy like that,
Oh, yeah.
Well, we could just like do some quality stuff and let the chips fall where they may. And I just think that too many things out there trying to always searching to get the attention of demographics, and it's just going to lead us to a point where big business is going to be the ones based on the kid that creates the most bubbles in the tub.
Yep.
And sell it as an NFT.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Right. like Elon Musk, buying Twitter for $44 billion when these cities are like downtown LA, downtown Philadelphia, the homeless situation, and 5 of the top 15 cities. It's like, really? And I'm not saying that we should figure out, other people's money or whatever, but there seems to be a glaring problem here, the United States of America on planet Earth at this juncture, post-pandemically, and with the amount of mental health that's out there, mental health issues. I was saddened by the fact of Ashley and Winona Judd talking about when their mother had succumbed to mental illness.
Yeah.
And immediately I knew what that was about.
Yep.
And today, now it's starting to surface that she took her life.
Yeah.
And they just put it out the best way they could manage to put it out. But,
right.
And this is a person that admitted it and was looking around and usually looking at not just themselves trying to hang on to good vibes, good things, and but also now looking around at just this thing in the air that favors gluttony, that favors just bad vibes, and we've always had these things in our society, but when they start getting hoisted as if they really mean shit, come on, man.
It's amplified.
They're amplifying the negativity. And this is what I've been saying a lot about. Sometimes when the music and the hip hop might amplify, a black fact of life, but when it just gets amplified on top of that into big business, then it's like, damn, man, 8 out of 10 stories is giving me fucking fucked up feelings, man.
Yeah.
I mean, ain't there some good feeling? And this is what people, when they talk about the golden age of the 80s, and like I said earlier, it's like cats grew up in the middle of hell with guns and drugs as an everyday thing, and they said, I'm not gonna. I just not gonna rhyme about that. I'm gonna try to keep the party popping, man. Yeah. Keep it moving. I'm gonna try to and to see that kind of like, okay, now not 9 out of every 10 stories. It was a great thing, man, when a lot of the West Coast guys from the and ladies from the Bay Area and also from LA would give like you would hear sunshine in their stories. And sometimes you just got to hear the sunshine in a story, even if they, happen to have some hiccups in the day. They like what was you got like groups like the Far Side, and you got the hieroglyphics up in the Bay, and all those in between that were just like A$AP Rock, and I mean, just like they would have. All right, yeah, some of it would be dark, but there'd be like a lot of brightness up in there too. And what's our homeboy's name? I wish I was who's I wish Skilo. I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, great. Just sunshine in those with JJ Fad,
Yep.
sunshine in those records. Jazzy Jeff and Fresh Prince, and I'm not talking about Summertime. Matter of fact, that's probably the one song by Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince that I didn't like so much because I felt that it leaned so much. I know it's paying homage to Ra, but everything else that Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince did to me was just like honest. They're just honest. Played with them, toured with them.
Yep.
I mean, how could you not smile when they go brand new funk? It's like,
oh yeah,
one of the
You know what I'm
greats.
saying?
Yeah, man. One of the greats.
So now it's like, or when you hear like, and I play songs, it's like, and I play songs on And You Don't Stop for diversity, man. But you can't give me the top 40 rappers and 35 of the 40 is just like trying to be hard. Cause I'll be like, yeah, you trying to be hard, but you gotta curse, and so you don't have the voice to make you sound hard, so you're gonna over curse. So I learned from guys like Kool Moe Dee is that your words are your weapons, man.
Yep.
And once it's like a ball player, like dribbles the ball, but you can't go left. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You got to always go to your right. The defense is going to cloud on you. So when you actually got to use curses to get you up out of the rhyme or further your rhyme, you're not really going nowhere. You're not really getting to the goal. You're not going to the hoop right. You're going to get your shit rejected. So, the work on words, to work on vernacular, to work on flows and styles, and then also to bring it out live every once in a while. You got to, I mean, hey, man, if anything, I learned from watching the Impossibles. I remember one time they were playing in Cincinnati, and everybody convened at this famed club in Cincinnati called Bogart's. And the Impossibles got up there and treated it like it was the last gig on earth, looking at a crowd, and the crowd was basically like, okay, kind of like irrelevant. We're going to go up here and attack these rhymes and do this thing on stage. And I think to learn from that is to see that if you're on the stage, and even if you outnumber the crowd, is that you're going to move that crowd damn near to want to be a participant in what you're doing. And that's removing the crutch of hyperbole. It's removing the crutch of hits and the stardom that brings people into the room. It's getting down, man. We could all learn from that. So it's back to like, and often that people put it in these box categories of, oh yeah, that's a conscious effort, or they're deep barred lyrical, and so therefore it's like, man, it's rap on stage. Get down, move the crowd. If you can't move the crowd, I don't care what you're doing, man. And don't fall for don't fall for the easy tricks that all of a sudden, like, oh, you got response. Like I told you in the beginning of hip hop, sometimes, you got young people and they up there rapping against each other, and they kind of cancel each other out. So often this was what somebody would do. All right, it's kind of like, this is like 1981, 82, when you're in an area away from the epicenter or whatever. And what they would do to try to get the extra buzz is they would moon the audience. It's like, pull out their joint, man. It's like, come on. It's like, Well, it ain't got nothing to do with rapping, man. It's like, what the hell?
IU freeze.
Yeah, IU freeze. I don't know what he did on stage. No matter of fact, I know what he did on stage. I just don't want to be the person that and even to this day, every time I would hear about, play his record or see him, I don't go in my mind like, yo, what did you do on that stage in Hempstead High back in 1985, man? For real? Yeah, man. But hey, I'm a big fan. Okay, you might have your gimmick. You have the thing that brings attention to you, but don't use it as a crutch, man.
Yeah.
Because I think this, and this is why the early MCs, they grouped up. It's like, we got a routine because when the 3 or 4 of us get together, or even the 2, we got a back and forth that can't get fucked with. We got a back and forth that people are like, oh, yo, I can't do that. No, you can't do those acrobatics, man. They rehearsed it. They got a routine, and the only thing you can do is watch and be in awe. And the only way that you're gonna beat that is put your thing together, and it better be well timed and rehearsed to try to beat that, because they got people's attention by being good.
Yep.
So.
And like Daddy-O says, you can't judge how many people are in the audience because you never know who those people are.
Same thing about YouTube. You can't judge who's out there watching us now, or listening to us, or taking notes, or saying that we full of ish.
Yeah, because you don't know who they are.
You don't know who they are. So then you just do your thing right. And I just think right now it's just too much is placed on metrics. And I just think you can always pad metrics with something that's out of the ordinary. Doesn't mean that it's good, though.
Yeah.
It don't mean that it's good. And I know in art is subjective when it comes down to good versus bad. But I guess it's a difference, man. A gorilla who just defecates in their palm and throws it at a canvas, that does not mean that doesn't mean he's a Rothko. Even though I scratched my head at Rothko's work and I said, he's just around a whole bunch of rich folk that's putting credence to that. But they got to, you got to have some sense of the community that adheres to your work. So they judge a large body of work before you even get to a Rothko being a Rothko. It's like, yeah, but he started off doing this style 35 years. They're like, oh, wow. He got away from that and decided to do this. So they're judging you from your whole body existence. And I think it's the same thing for people in hip hop. They judge you from your whole body of existence. Down from the journalists, the DJs, the group artists, DJs, the MCs, the dancers. Your body of work is important.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh damn! Did I just hijack the show? Let me stop.
No, man.
I was happy that Dre was just dropping some jewels.
Oh yeah, exactly. And it'd be good to have him back too. So
periodically, it's a good idea.
Yeah. Anytime he wants to come back,
press that button on Dre, and he's gone.
Yep.
Energizer Bunny.
You ought to be back next week too, Chuck. We got Ice Cube on the show.
Cube is on the show?
No. I just keep doing
unless you talk to him.
So listen,
he's on tour. Well,
that's right. He is
on tour, man.
Yeah, he goes hard too. Man, I tell you, my top shows, 3 top shows: PE, KRS-One, Ice Cube.
How would you know?
In Rockhampton.
You weren't coherent for Ice Cube.
Well, yeah, it's true. I did get ganked at the Ice Cube concert.
No,
it was that dope. It was that dope that even through the haze of a concussion, he knew it was bad.
Oh my god!
Yes.
You had a concussion at Ice Cube show?
Yeah, I got jumped, but I deserved it. I told them what I was wearing, and they were like, "Yeah, you deserve that shit."
He got clocked at Ice Cube.
How did you get jumped, Chuck? How did you get jumped?
it was just, right when Cube was coming on, they ran that whole "It's Ruined America's Most Wanted" came out, and they were running the front end there where he's doing the prison scene. It was dark, and all I know is I just got clocked in the back.
Boy, bad place to be. Yeah, that's a bad place to be, man.
Oh, good. I learned a lot that night.
Yes, damn. I tell people this all the time: is that you got to watch those parallel existences when somebody's life is next to your life, but you don't know if they give a fuck about their life. So you got to stay far away from that. It's like, yo, I see the light. I see the expiration date on you and the way you're acting.
Yeah.
I'm going to back up from you.
Right. Yeah.
And a lot of times you're standing next to a person that, probably don't care, and they swinging their arms and jumping up. And I've seen so many, I don't know if anybody died, but I've seen some atrocities in the pits, in the mosh, and in rap pits internationally that I don't want to know. And I'm like, and people, I mean, especially like back in the day when we used to play like military bases in Germany, and that would be the span of time where they would just like, okay, this is the concert. And you got guys coming from the field, like for 3 weeks, they would be in the field. Now coming to a concert, their first day off. They're beyond drunk and high.
Yeah.
And it was crazy because you would see people just like the soldiers mixed like in a place like Germany. You're in a small German town and the military base is there. So at one particular time in Germany, it was like military bases almost in every province area. It's like so many of them.
Right.
Because, they had been over there since, the Cold War.
Right.
And, when we first started traveling, our first 3 years traveling in Germany, couldn't play what was considered East Germany. But the problem is that you had to take a bus to Berlin, which was in the middle of East Germany, split into two cities, East Germany and East Berlin and West Berlin. Now, East Berlin is connected in the middle, surrounded by the rest of East Germany, but you had to take this one road from West Germany, get checked at the border, and take this one road straight to Berlin. And halfway through the road, you get another check. And they come on with dogs. And if it's night, they're gonna wake you up. And then you go on the other, the rest of the, I think, 150 miles to Berlin on this one road. Then you get in Berlin, you come and check it again, checkpoint Charlie. Then you in West Berlin, which is, the side that you're going to play, a club called the Metropolis. And we be on radio. And the tragedy about that is that we're on radio, they hear our songs all the time, but the fans who want to come to the show can't come to the show because they're in East Berlin.
Wow.
And they're your fans too.
Yeah.
But they can't come to the show. And come close to that wall, you getting shot and killed and dragged off.
Wow.
So our first 3 years in playing Germany, we had so much of a fan base on the other side of the wall. Kids, 12, 14, 16, 20, grown fans. And 1989, we're playing in Germany, and it happened to be like weeks after the wall comes down. And we're playing in Germany, and now we're playing in a spot in East Berlin and West Berlin. No, matter of fact, we played at the spot that this guy threw an event at the end East Berlin that he was able to get. And so we had people there that was seeing us for the first time, but been hearing us for years, but they could not. And it was like, they were damn near in tears.
Wow.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. And, you could go to what was formerly the wall. Well, in the past, you look at it as a serious wall.
Right.
With, guards and towers and all that, and now it was crumbled to rocks. You know, on the West Berlin side, you had graffiti, and on the East Berlin side, of course, nobody's putting graffiti on that wall. Back in communist-run East Berlin, matter of fact, they would come close to the wall, but it was like you get shot at for real.
Yeah.
All for the name of hip hop, because people were like, well, hip hop fans, but couldn't check out your favorite group. And the minute that we did play, it was still kind of crazy too, because the wall had just came down weeks before. So there was just a lot of anything goes. Not everybody was venturing over to the East Berlin side, because I was like going, I mean, seriously, people talk about the Bronx back in the day. And I knew a homegirl who actually took me in a cab, and she drove me through all parts of East Berlin. It was like, yo, man, it was like the Bronx. It was really taking a look at what the communist countries were up in the second world. And it was a trip, because we would go in the store and there was nothing on the shelves, you know. And then there was animosity because the cab drivers from East Berlin were doing anything to get fares from people on the west side, because they were looking at money for the first time. Like, you know, okay, we're looking at marks now. This is before the euro.
Right.
Looking at these marks, man, we get a chance to make marks. And there was animosity from the West Berliners who were like, yo, man, they're coming in from that side and infringing on our bit. It was just crazy for some years. It's funny because like years later when we played the gig, and it was on the East Berlin side, but 5 years it settled in, new generation was popping up. It was like 94, 95, and you really couldn't tell the difference. The only difference you could tell is now you start noticing the rivers, and a couple of the rivers that come through Berlin. It was one united Berlin. Now, of course, now we're talking, it's 25 years later.
Yeah.
And one probably can't even tell the difference, but it was a trip, because back then it was East Berlin and West Berlin, and it was seriously like night and day. And so the hip hop at its best is when it's honest and it actually tries to speak and do for the better, make it for the better, man. Because we definitely seen it at the worst.
Yeah. Damn straight.
Damn straight. Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So.
You know, you bring up that Cincinnati show, and I know we're running into the C-Doc after dark portion here. When you all were in Cincinnati, that was actually when Doc and I met for the first time.
That was the second time we were in Cincinnati. Yeah.
Bogarts?
No, not Bogarts.
Was that Bogarts?
No, it wasn't. It wasn't. That was Bogarts. Was the first time we played. That was 2002. You and I met 2007. Yeah.
20 years.
We played in Kentucky. What was that spot?
Covington, Kentucky.
Yeah,
that's right.
It was that theater,
right?
Yeah. Matter of fact, I did something later on there with Bootsy later on.
Yeah, he came to the show. Yeah, that's right. He sat on the stage. I remember that.
Yeah,
it's Covington, but I forgot the name of the place.
Yeah, I can't remember either. Yeah, I met you there. So we played that show in 2007, and then they had the James Brown thing there.
Yeah,
remember I came down for that.
Yep. Yeah, I do remember you outside, Chuck.
Oh, you do?
Yep, I do.
Yeah, I was taking. You know, here. All right. Here's
Is that when he dropped Proud to show you his Public Enemy tattoo?
No.
You know what, Jenny? That blends in with so many people that have shown me tattoos. I think it could be that would be a pretty good book, you know.
There you go.
Those people that got exactly, you know. I just recently saw somebody had a tattoo of and I'm not wrong for saying this, but I gotta mention it. I mean, Will Smith and Chris Rock. Couldn't believe that's a tattoo now.
Already. Oh gosh. Yeah, seriously.
People have no tooth, dude. They have no
Too
clue.
much time on their hands.
And I know it was a white
Justified.
dude, wasn't it? Was it a white dude?
Well, yeah, it was. It was on. It was
Well,
on.
yeah.
White skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we could say such a thing,
Yeah.
you know.
My Lord. No, that
You know when? Hey, listen. You know when the tattoo is on black skin. So hey.
yeah.
Yeah. You see, I always felt like when I always thought that number one, and my art background is that a tattoo is a contrast. So if you got really dark skin, you should have kind of light ink to make it pop.
Be a white ink.
Right.
I never understood the black ink on black skin. I never got that, man. I'm a little bit in the middle, like brown, so black is gonna pop a little bit. But I got folk in my family. You dark skin and you got a dark tattoo. It's like, yo, it's not nobody gonna see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're light skinned or considered white in this country, you're gonna have black ink on it. It's gonna pop. It's gonna be artwork, and you can maybe throw some color in there too, and you have something to stand out. Although I think 90% of tattoo artists, just don't pull it off. They just don't pull it off. And I don't think it's the artist's fault. I think it's what somebody wants to see happen.
Yeah,
I want this on it, and then he's like, I wouldn't have did that.
Yeah, right.
I wouldn't have did that, but
Right.
that's your canvas. You got to die with it at least till you spend money to get it erased.
Yeah.
Yep.
Putting your first mate on it, or just okay, that's you go ahead. Go ahead.
Yep.
But anyway,
Do you?
Finish your story, so chuckified.
Well, at that show, my wife's still razzing me about this. She was like, "Now that show where you met C-Doc and you and my buddy Ryan, we got a pic with you, Chuck, after the show."
Mm-hmm.
And I'm in this pic. I look like I'm afraid. Like the first time I've ever met you, and I was like, I was in shock. And I had made you. I don't know if you remember this, and this is so. I made you a T-shirt that it was a black long sleeve T-shirt. It had red and green with PE symbol on it. It said Chuck D for President, 2008. And I gave that to you. I remember you looking at me going, "The fuck's this dude's president?" I was like, what is this dude?
No, I wasn't gonna make you feel bad about it. But you know what? I mean, yeah, I probably got this shirt somewhere, but
so funny, dude.
you know what that's when they say things like I should come up with some things. I guess with older age, you say, "Oh man, bless your heart." That's probably the right thing to say, right?
Yeah.
Bless your heart.
Yeah, you're right.
Thanks.
That was
there's
a good
night,
man.
There's a horrible, horrible story. My aunt never would, if you asked her if a baby was cute, she never would. She would say, "Oh, they're just as cute as they can be."
That's the right thing to say.
All she would say, "They're just as cute." Given the way the two of you look, that's about as cute as that could have come out.
Because she's not wrong.
Right.
She's not wrong. They're
No,
just as cute as they can be.
I'm like this. I'm like, give the baby benefit of time. Everything will work out.
That's right. Most times.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yep, sometimes.
Other
work out
times,
how it's-
puberty's a bitch.
Yeah. It'll work out how it's going to work out. So
Yeah.
that's all you can do.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
M-Rock, you're just speaking with your hands?
Yeah, man. I'm having volume issues tonight, so don't mind me.
Well, you don't have volume issues on your voice.
Yeah, this is true. No, I've just been listening, man.
Yeah, speaking of that, heartfelt and salutes out to Terminator X, who his father just transitioned and early this week. So yeah, Mr. Rogers.
Wow.
Good dude, man. Good dude, Mr. Rogers. So I like to take the second and sing salute out to the Rogers family.
Yeah. Yep.
Absolutely.
Wow. So.
Well, thank you for inviting me on the show, and
thanks for coming on.
And I'm glad I was able to catch a little bit of the doctor, who actually I'm heard before and after on the You Don't Stop radio show each and every week, and he has the operating room, the Knowledge Me segment, which comes at the tail end of the show before I slide into the outro, and yeah, he's dropped some great words of wisdom for the last 9 months on the And You Don't Stop radio show weekly. And so that's just a little tidbit synopsis of what he has in his volumes of books ready to come out.
Yeah.
And Dre always surprises me because he never drops the ball without fail. He's right there on what happens to be pertinent on the week. Whatever pops up in the week, he'll have a well thought out commentary for it, and he never fails to amaze me. He's on it.
Yeah.
So it's as soon as something pops up, I'm pretty sure next week, this week's show is definitely have something to say about Roe versus Wade.
Right.
So,
yep.
Yeah. So
the good doctor.
Good doctor.
Yep.
Glad we have him with us participating, and we'll all put it and hold it together.
Yeah.
Well, thank y'all for having me on the show. I'm sorry if I was rude to be munching away on this delicious food that I picked up earlier, but I'm on 3 hour different time than you guys, so this is not late. This is not late night eating. Not late. Well, yeah, exactly. It's not late night eating for myself or Jenny, but
it's all
this
good,
is
bro.
actually dinner time.
Come on, man. It's C-Doc again.
It's C-Doc again.
Anything goes.
Anything goes.
That's
it's all
right.
Good.
Never know what's going to happen.
I think that was the first time I actually ate on a camera.
Is it?
That was bold, dude. Like I was saluting. I was like, "That's what's up, man." So who cares? I mean,
it's the relaxed. It's the relaxed chuckosphere.
Who really cares? If Daddy-O can drive around and give people directions on how to get out of his apartment complex, who cares?
If Joe Fatal,
I was gonna say you still haven't beat Joe Fatal.
God.
What Joe Fatal do?
We don't want to know.
Okay, right.
We don't want to know what Joe Fatal.
All he kept saying, all we know is he kept saying, "Can y'all black me out for like 5 minutes? I got something I gotta do. Can y'all just black me out for 5 minutes?"
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Joe Fatal's still the king of the show.
That's right.
Props to Joe Fatal.
All right.
I got to swing and roll with that. Yep.
Yep, indeed. Mr. Chuck, I'll give you a call when I wrap this up.
Yes, sir. Give me about another minutes and I'm good. You just take your time. Everybody else, peace out. Catch me at the You Don't Stop radio show at the end of the week.
Yep.
All right.
Always. Peace.
It's C-Doc again.